The great thing about film is that it interests children immediately. Very often it can be hard to find a text which suits all abilities and all interests in the class, particularly when you're trying to get a good range of texts that fit both girls' interests and boys' interests and different cultures, whereas film, it hooks them in straight away.
The C's and S's of film actually help to structure a child's thinking. What I like to do is divide it into a grid. So, like you have camera, colour, character, setting, symbolism, sound, and depending on the age of the child, depends on how deep you can go into that film. One strategy that I use for teaching the C's and S's is to allow the children to become the experts. So after we've done some activities with it, they'll watch the film and then we'll come back together and they'll report to the rest of the class depending on what they were focusing on. And then obviously if, children in other groups have got opinions of what they've said, they can feed into it. And I find that that's a really good way for them to delve deeper into the specific aspect of the film that they were given.
One strategy I like to use at the start of the lesson is maybe just to turn off the visual side of the interactive whiteboard so that they're only hearing the soundtrack, and it's a great way to maybe get them to think about what the film is going to be like, and then to later show them the film with the visual and to see whether it's matched those perceptions at the start of the lesson.
With character, I like looking at stereotypes. Because you can take a still image of a character and ask them, what do you think this character is going to be like? And then show them the beginning of the film. Are their expectations, have they been met? Have they changed at all? Why did they think that that character would be like that? And then show them the end of the film. Has the character changed? Were they wrong? Were they right? Why might that be? So it really helps with sort of social situations to get them thinking about that.
When I'm teaching setting, it's using film is fantastic for that, particularly when I've taught using science fiction. It really helps the children to think about what's different about that setting as opposed to a setting that they're familiar with. Watch the film or short clip and then maybe pick some still images from there and then give a colour photocopy to the children, and then either in groups or individually is to think of adjectives to describe each of those settings.
With symbolism, that's really good with year 5 and 6 if you want to go to those higher level inference and deduction skills. And so, for example, it can be as simplistic as the symbols in a film might just mean it's dinner time if there's a knife and a fork. However, you can develop the children so that they understand that, if they see a crow or a blackbird, that chances are in the next scene somebody's going to die.
Colour's a really interesting thing for children to look at, showing 2 different films, one where they've maybe used grey, dark colours, and another where they've used bright, and why you might do that. Choose a scene from a film that they particularly are interested in or enjoyed, and get them to draw that scene. And you could either copy that picture, so that you've got 2 of them, or they can redraw it again, it's up to you. And then colour them very differently to each other. So use the dull colours in one and use the bright colours in the other. Get a torch with some coloured sweet wrappers and shine it over the picture to get, it's almost like a gel on a light from the theatre, so they can look at it, which colour do I prefer? This helps them to look at what moods are they setting, which one do they prefer, how does it change the atmosphere of the scene, why has the director chosen those colours?